Welcome back to Phantom X2 and Friends. I'm Caroline Mutoko, and I get to introduce you to the friends of the Phantom X2. Have you got yours yet? Now, the friend today is Kawira Mirero. Your smile. What? Chick. But let's get down to it. Ati fashion. Yes. Tell me. So what did mother say? You see, I gotta go straight there. No, let's go.
I will stop. You will stop.
You will stop. But I'm sure the road to here wasn't a straight one. Every time I talk to somebody who's found the sort of pleasure in what they do, like you, when I say, okay, tell me how the journey got you to here. Was it straight? Did you literally go study design and then you cut your first patterns, you sketch them, and voila, Mapambo was born?
No.
Tell me.
No. MP, as a lot of my clients call it.
Oh,
I guess
really?
they find Mambo Pambo a mouthful.
I love it.
So it's been baptized MP.
MP.
It took a while. Where do we start?
Let's start from, where do you go to high school?
I went to Alliance.
Hey, you're those people. I'm surprised you didn't bring your own mug.
Hashtag I went to Alliance.
I love you.
So I grew up in Mombasa. The one thing I can say about Africa, having lived across Africa pretty much, across Kenya even, as much as we're the same, we're also very different.
Oh, yes, we are.
The flavors, the scents, the sounds, the noises, what makes us tick. Mombasa has a very strong seamstress tailoring culture. So the ladies design their own clothes. You go to Kibokoni, you buy fabric. So I'll take my mother to Kibokoni to buy fabric, and we'd go to her tailor, make clothes. A lot of them would be disappointing. Come home, look at it, decide, maybe we remove the sleeves and stitch them back. And so growing up, we did that. But then I went to Alliance, and you go to Alliance to become a doctor or a lawyer, or at worst, a teacher, a professional career.
That's what you were told.
Yes. But I always wanted to do design, art and design. I've painted, drawn all my life. But then I guess, growing up, it's understandable though. As a parent, you want your child to
do well,
to be comfortable. You're making all these sacrifices for them to be comfortable.
And unconventional careers were not known.
No. No, and then the networks also, we take it for granted. Now that we have the networks, you can take your child to Milan, to Paris, to learn these things. Where was my mother going to take me to learn fashion?
Yes.
And then her experience is that fundi in Mombasa who tailors things for 500 shillings.
And didn't do a great job.
No, because again, and that's the other thing I tell my clients, there's a difference between a designer and a fundi. A lot of fundis, tailors suffer burnout because he's the accountant, he's going to do shopping, he is coming to do client service, and he still has to find time to put together a dress. And then when you're not doing ready to wear, every dress is a pattern.
It is?
Yes, so you have to draft it and work on it afresh. What time does that tailor have to think about clients? And that's why they get into all these problems. So it's a designer and a tailor, two different things. And so, as I said, it's understandable that it's almost Juakali. The Juakali industry is not, we haven't reached the level where it is something you want your child to get into. You'd rather she just got employed or became a doctor, works at a hospital, you have a salary, you have pension.
But you seem to be the sort of person who is a true honor their father and mother, and they were concerned that you will starve. So I want to know, when you finished college, Uliandapi?
So I studied design still. I still went ahead and studied design, but I majored in graphic design. And then? Because I knew people who studied graphic design and were working at Nation Media Group. So I wanted a corporate job.
So you ended up at Nation?
Yes.
Hiya.
That's a nice corporate career.
Yes.
And I had a first class degree in design.
Okay.
Yes. Top of my class. Okay, number 2. We're 3.
Well done.
Thank you.
How long did you stay at the Nation?
I worked at the Nation for a little over 2 years as I studied for my MBA in the evenings. It was convenient because from Nation Media Group, Nation Center.
Up the road.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then now I moved into marketing communications. as we would call it then.
Yes.
And then a lot of the jobs I got had a design component. So I would still do the graphics as I did the other bits of marketing.
So your neck was
PR.
still...
Yes. So I've always had a creative aspect to every job I've had.
Is it true you paint?
Yes. Yes. I guess that's even what got me this far, because I went to high school and opted to do art and design. And then I discovered art and design is not just painting. You can design. You can do graphics. There's packaging. There is...
Yes, there's a lot.
Product design, how it feels on the hand. Ergonomics, how the chair you sit on. It's designed. Somebody sat and thought through your back.
Yes, and thought
how
through
high.
this.
Yes. Color palettes, balance. So design is in every aspect of our life.
So at what point did you say, okay, honestly, I've done the, what is it called? The proper career. I've done the Nation. I think you mentioned to me you worked at Strathmore.
I worked at Strathmore, and then I worked at Davis and Shatcliffe. Davis and Shatcliffe was my last formal employment in Kenya. I met my husband and we got married. And then I moved to West Africa. I quit my job and moved to West Africa.
West Africa is a region where?
We went to Accra. We lived in Accra for 4 years, Accra, Ghana. And then we moved to Abuja in Nigeria for another 2 years.
Now I understand. Because West African women, and let's start with Nigerian women, they happen. They just don't wake up and get dressed.
No, it was a revelation. Let me share a short funny story. Up to now, I think back and I laugh. So one day, I went to drop my little girl to the kindergarten, and I was in jeans and a t-shirt. This lady stopped me. Are you unwell? I was taken aback. Why? Why are you dressed like this? You're always so nicely dressed. We don't leave the house like this.
Yes.
So West Africans put a lot of thought.
Yes.
In their fashion choices. If you're going to the supermarket, you need to look a certain way. If you have a birthday party coming, you produce a print and you give all your friends, and they must get as creative as possible and create every event is a chance to step out and look good. If you're going to the club, I mean, it's an industry.
And the weddings are a whole other...
Yes.
Yes.
With a series of outfits and headgear and jewelry and bags and shoes. It's fantastic.
Spoken like a fashion designer. It is wonderful.
Where I used to work, we would say it starts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday, you're recovering. Then you work Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday.
So I spent a lot of time at the market with the tailors, with seamstresses, stylists. And so by the time I was coming back, also while I was there, a lot of friends would ask, and family, bring me this, bring me that.
Yes.
So I would actually design outfits, get them made, come back with them and sell here. Anytime we're here on holiday, I would come with clothes, shoes, and just sell
Kawira nakuja.
So are you bringing me this? Are you bringing me this?
Allah.
Yes. And so while you're at it also, I came to realize African women we're more curvy than your...
Oh, darling.
So there are some tweaks, there's some structural adjustments, and that's where design comes in handy. There's some structural adjustments you need to make when you're dressing an African woman.
Yes.
Tweak here, tweak there. And so with practice, of course, you get better at it.
Yes.
And that is when now you reach the point where somebody wears something and they're like, wow, I love it.
It fits, yes.
I love it. I have clients who don't shop. You just say, I am coming. I have gone to your Instagram. I've seen this. You have my measurements. I am coming. I'm like, come.
You will tell me how you got into it, but you said something. You've got clients who say, so when you see someone in your outfits, how does that feel?
It's validating. It's really validating. It's confidence building.
Okay.
It really, you feel good. I feel good not just for me, but also my team. Because we're a team.
Yes.
By the time I've visualized, sketched, sometimes the tailor says, here iwezekani, sasa itakalia aje. Say, give me the fabric. We cut it. We fix it. I put it on. I'm like, itakalia hivyo. They're like, okay.
Sawa.
Or back then, when I first started, we had a design waterfalls. Waterfalls are right now, I think, going out of fashion, but we did waterfalls. And the first waterfalls, I'm pretty sure I was one of the first people to do waterfalls here. A client wore, and she asked me, what am I going to do with all this fabric? It's too much.
Waterfalls make you look like royalty.
So even clients, sometimes it takes time for them to buy into a design.
Waterfalls were a no-brainer for me. In fact, you did them, Vivo did them.
Yes.
And I remember when she stopped doing, the copious amounts of fabric, I was like, I'm not buying it.
Yes.
Because I want to step out and it flows behind me.
Yes. So that was back, I think, in 2016.
Yes.
We added a little trim. And the first clients, because I used my clients as focus, the focus group. They're like, So sometimes they take time. And when people finally embraced them, we couldn't make them fast enough. We couldn't. So
you are not starving. I'm going back to mom.
No, I'm not starving. We're not starving. Our starving days are behind us.
Oh, great. How old is the business?
8 years, almost, a decade soon.
A decade soon?
Yes,
how many tailors?
Yes. We are at 7.
Wow.
There's 7 tailors.
And you're the designer?
I'm the designer.
So it's very important you create that because Fundi is not the designer. He puts together what you design.
Yes. But I try. It doesn't always work, but I try. There are certain members of the team who also have a design eye. And so it's a collaboration.
So sometimes it's a collaboration.
Yes. How about? And so sometimes I'm open to that.
Okay.
And then there are times I'm like, no, don't take liberties with my design. Leave it as it was. And so we.
You're that one.
No, sometimes you have to. You're like, no.
No, but it's just that we in the creative space, we're very much like that. So here's the thing I need to know, and I'm still going to come back to how. I'm holding on to it.
Yeah.
So you finally start taking pictures for your Instagram. Where did that happen? And did you have your own photographer?
So we started after COVID. Before COVID, I was very camera shy. I would not. So you have to hire a model, you have to hire a makeup artist, you have to hire a stylist, you have to hire a photographer, and then the fashion business is cash intensive. So by the time you've paid for a shoot and done that whole, once you do the mathematics, you're not going to break even quickly.
Yes.
Because remember, this is a small business. And so I did it in the collection before COVID was 2019. And I remember working with Lucy Robbie. And Lucy Robbie asked me, why don't you model your own clothes?
Yes.
Like, who me? Never.
See, where's Z?
There needs to be some separation. COVID hit. And COVID hit when we were just about to. I just opened another smaller shop for ready to wear. No clients. I had stock like this.
And we were living in t-shirts and headscarves.
I had stock like this. So for a month I wallowed. Then I was like, this wallowing is not going to take me anywhere, really. And then I had another phone back then. So I told my kids, this is what we're going to do. We are going to take pictures.
Mom is going to put on the clothes and you're going to take pictures.
Yes.
Watch out.
So we started slowly. So I'd wake up in the morning, they'd ask me, in fact, up to now my kids ask, how many looks are we photographing today? Every look is 300 bob. It's not free. So they want to know first how many looks, and a video is 500.
So they quickly do their own maths.
And then they say, and if this post has more than 30 likes, there has to be a bonus. Now the bonus usually we negotiate or they forget about. And so that's how we started. So I'll just go into my closet. We have this design. It has not been seen anywhere. We've not modeled it with anyone. Because again, as a small business, we have a lot of designs. You come, you want a jacket that looks like this, like this. So I design it. It ends up being a one piece. So during that time I had to keep my tailors busy also because I didn't want to lose them. So we reduced our hours. When you train and a tailor decides to stay with you, you want to keep that tailor because you don't want to start again.
No.
So we had to keep the team busy. Cloth masks, how much are they going for? Starvation all over again.
Yes. Wow.
So now I started revisiting every design, seeing how can we tweak it, how can we adjust it, and then
so the pictures that I see on your IG page where you're the model,
yes,
and I'm looking at pictures of 2020,
yes,
that was you as the model,
yes,
and your children behind a cell phone,
yes. And that is how powerful cell phone cameras are.
Actually, I've been It's okay, I won't take it from you. What did you think the first time you touched the Phantom X2?
It's a work of art.
Oh God, the designer's gonna speak. All right.
I love clean lines. See how clean those lines are. The lines are clean.
Okay.
And then it sits on the hand.
Very nice. I agree. I remember the first time it was handed to me, I said, thank you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then the camera.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And then it's just it's a camera on a phone. Not how do I put it? It's
not a phone. It's actually a camera, but sometimes you can call with it.
Yes. Then the picture clarity.
Mm-hmm. No, the picture.
It's thought through.
It has been thought through
Thoroughly.
Oh gosh, a game changer for you.
Yes.
So let me ask you something else. There's a lot of people who are like, I want to be a fashion designer. It's amazing what people want to do with their creativity. Let's assume the person watching this interview is maybe 23, 22. They've been sketching. They've gone, they buy a sketch pad and they're like, I'll never bring these to life. What would you like to say to that person? Because clearly you're not going to tell them you'll starve.
No. What I have this conversation a lot, by the way, with young designers. I usually started this way. Who are you going to design for?
Whoa, that's brilliant.
Who are you going to design for? Because my clients are typically 28 to maybe 65. They have the purchasing power.
All right.
So my mom was not wrong.
Hey, okay.
So as a 23-year-old, who are you designing for? By the time you're finished, because the market is production is expensive. Who are you going to sell to an outfit for 20,000, 18,000?
True. Not New York.
Yes. So perhaps hang on to that dream, but think of other ways to make that dream come true. It might not come true immediately. Not in this market, because we've also not reached the self-actualization stage. Majority of Kenyans will not buy a dress before they buy food, buy a plot, build, take their kids to school.
Yeah.
So hang on to the dream, but find a way to get to it. Maybe not immediately. A dream deferred is not a dream forgotten.
It isn't. Yes. And sometimes when a dream is paused, dream another dream.
Yes. And then
I love the way you think. That's refreshing.
You have to be practical.
Okay, so I'm going to take you back to Abuja.
Yes.
You're on your way home.
Yes.
Because eventually you came back. That's why
we came back, yes.
But at what point did you do that thing of, you know what, I got to do this. I got to do this fashion design thing.
So for the longest, there's this book, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it says our moms tell us, speed up, one leg is on there.
On the brakes.
Yes.
Go, don't go.
So that's how I have lived life. I want to go, no, wait. I want to go, wait. So, and that's another thing I love about men. Men generally, if they want to do something,
they just do it. They call it rohoju.
So my husband said, if you go back to Kenya, yes, you'll get a corporate job, you'll shake up one of your alliance people, and you'll get yes. And if you don't start this now, you will regret it, because it takes time. To grow, build, get experience, it takes time.
Okay.
You don't want to start the struggle at 45.
No.
And we should start it at.
This is also true.
So he said, we'll struggle for a while, we'll make sacrifices, but just go do it. And so that's what I did. We came back. I was very fortunate. I called one designer who gave me the lowdown. And up to now, because I'm so grateful to that lady, anybody wants to start a fashion business, call me. I'll tell you where the fabric is bought. I'll tell you where to get tailors. I'll tell you all the challenges, because there are many challenges. So you're mentally prepared. And then what you do with that knowledge really is up to you. Because a lot of people take the knowledge and...
You see why we call this Phantom X2 and Friends? Yeah. Because literally she's saying, I'm not going to withhold information.
No. Anybody who knows me will tell you. If you call me, as long as, if I'm not able to, I'll tell you, let's talk at this point. I will tell you everything and anything you need to know about a fashion business. There are 40 million people. I can't even dress 40,000 yet.
So yeah, actually, what's the problem?
There's no problem.
This is something that has been on the back of my mind with every person I'm speaking to on Phantom X2 and Friends. When was the first time you saw a techno phone, and what did you think? I remember for me, it was all the young people in my department. There was a time everybody had one. I used to feel a bit like, what don't I know? I used to think, what don't I know? And then I was told the screen is amazing, it's affordable, it's this, it's that, it's the only way to go. And I was like, and then they showed me the Phantom, and I was like, I'm ready. When's the first time you saw a techno?
Were there phablets a few years back? Techno phablets?
I think so.
Were there techno phablets?
Yes, I think they were.
I had one. Oh. I was obnoxious.
Oh, really?
My kids were like, Mommy, that thing is so huge. Why are you walking around that huge thing? And then I'm taking a call and it is here. Like,
okay.
I had one for the longest. Then it fell, the screen broke. My kids were like, hallelujah.
Really?
Yes, enough of that thing.
I used to feel that I had been left out, and I felt because I wasn't young, I didn't get it. So, and here I am today. I get it. But that was me.
For me, I think the advantage I have is that my husband is in tech. So a lot of these new gadgets, whenever they're around, he knows about them before we all do. So like now I've been asking, I need a better camera.
Yes,
I need a better camera. Yes. So like, just wait. They're all coming. They're coming.
And sure enough,
right.
I like that.
When
he was right.
In fact, he's the one he's the one who unboxed it. He told me, I told you, there's your camera. That's a camera on our phone. Your problems are sorted.
This conversation is over. Please follow Kawira on IG. And remember, she's a fashion designer. So also, she will want to take measurements. You know, I was going to ask you to dress me for this interview. And I was like, Caroline, don't be that chick. The chick who doesn't give her a chance to do a good job.
I've dressed you before, though.
You have?
Brian Babu got a kimono from me.
Yes.
The one that has the big...
Yes, the big sleeves.
And it has big Prince rose.
Yes.
It was only one. I love kimonos. I didn't get that one, but you got it.
Thank you.
Everything in its own time.
Everything in its own time. And I hope you'll be joining us for another series, another episode of Phantom X2 and Friends. This is a friend.